These folks did nothing different than what many Democrats have done in many states
they certainly
throughout our
did,
history.
Senator. I mean, there were multiple slates of fake electors, including in your home state. They're acknowledging that they were playing a role in trying to improperly overturn the election. That's what they said.
They got themselves out of a nuisance lawsuit. They agreed to settle a nuisance lawsuit that never should have been brought.
So you think it's fine that someone
lawsuit is a travesty of justice.
So that is Ron Johnson, who does not care at all about the developments of the fake electors in his own state. And to be clear, as was alluded to in that video by Kaitlan Collins, 10 of the fake electors settled a lawsuit just last week that was brought by the actual electors in Wisconsin. They had sought $200,000 from each of those electors, but thanks to the settlement, the fake ones aren't going to be hit with any kind of fine. But they did have to admit that Joe Biden won the election and agreed to not be an elector in 2024 or any election in which Donald Trump is a candidate. They also agreed that by posing as electors, they were, quote, part of an attempt to improperly overturn the election results, which means nothing to Ron Johnson because they were the target of a nuisance lawsuit. So the stuff that they have now admitted to, like as part of a settlement, doesn't count for anything. It's very easy how they can get out of jail free when it comes to having to think. Now, bear in mind, then the reason that they're having that interview is that one of the electors will remain on the state's nonpartisan elections commission, as the Republican majority leader in Wisconsin said that he would not rescind his appointment of Bob Spindell to the post. The commission has 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats. So the Republican majority leader in the state will not get this guy off. And Ron Johnson also says that he does not support calls for Spindell's resignation. And I just want to remind you, this is a nonpartisan elections commission that has one of the fake electors from Trump's big lie attempt to overturn democracy on it. Seems like a problem to me. Now, you might have noticed that there were some claims made by Ron Johnson in that video. And Kaitlan Collins is going to pressure him to provide some evidence on that. So let's jump into that before we get to our conversation.
You think it's fine that someone who tried to overturn a legitimate election is still on a board?
Democrat electors have done that repeatedly. Democrats have done the same thing. Republicans have never tried to criminalize it.
Fake slates of electors?
No, it's happened in different states. I didn't come prepared to give you the exact states, but it's happened repeatedly. It has happened repeatedly. Just go check the books.
Which books?
I mean, there have been alternate slates of electors by Democrat electors in our history. Again, this wasn't what this interview was going to be about. I'll come and I'll provide you the information, but I'm absolutely certain about that.
I look forward to your office sending that information. We'll publish it if it's accurate. Senator Ron Johnson.
Oh, I can't wait I'm sure he's going to send it. How long are we going to have to wait before he sends the evidence? Is it a day? Is it a week? I just want to know what the specific instances he was thinking of are. I only speak for myself, but I'm going to hold my breath while I wait. Anyway, Rayyvana, what do you make of this?
Well, we don't need to wait for him to send the evidence over, John. All we need to do is check the books. We just need to check the books. I've got a myriad of books on my shelf behind me. Surely it's in one of those. He said the books without any.
What are you waiting for, Rayyvana? Start looking through the books.
It's just amazing the way that the Republicans can say that this was the most fraudulent election in American history. And then we see time and time again that the people committing or attempting to commit fraud, election fraud, was the Republican Party itself, which I can name another time where the Republicans successfully overturned the Democratic results of an election. That would be the year 2000. Whereas Ron Johnson couldn't, name a single incidence of that happening. I can say the Brooks Brothers riot, Bush v. Gore. It's embarrassing also to be so ill prepared for an interview that you knew that you were going to have to talk about that subject, and just to be like, I just wasn't ready for this interview. I'll come back to you with the definite solid evidence I have of all of the instances of Democratic voter fraud.
Well, and he seems to get that because he's like, I mean, look, this isn't specifically what this is supposed to be about, so I don't have that. Okay, but you weren't obligated to make the argument that you are trying and failing to make. You chose to do that, and you're not. It's not even like he's saying, I think that there have been instances on the other side and I'm going to check into that. No, he's just stating that it's true, even though he doesn't have a single fact to put into that. And by the way, it isn't true, okay? There's no evidence that he's gonna present. That's not actually how any of this works. And unfortunately, the joke ends up being on us, because despite the fact that he can't back up his argument there, he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Because the right doesn't care. They don't actually care if Democrats have done this before. They want Republicans to do it. Whether it's precedented or unprecedented, they want Trump to stay in power. They don't care if Mike Pence can actually overturn the election. They just want Trump still in office. It's not like you're gonna read the Constitution and be like, hey, there isn't actually a constitutional provision for that. That's not actually, they don't care. They're not interested in democracy as some sort of foundational value. They don't have that. They just want Trump in power. And so Kaitlan Collins obviously cannot cure the Republicans of that. She can only do what she did there, but unfortunately, it's not gonna get through to any MAGA people. Any final points, Rayyvana?
Yeah, just to supplement what you said. Republicans think that Dinesh D'Souza, a man who went to jail for election fraud, is a good source of information on election fraud. So yeah, they don't need any actual hard-hitting evidence. They just need a crappy documentary made by a literal criminal.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.